In the last scenario, we covered a EMP strike by pick a nation performed on the United States without covering who they were or retaliation for said event, because for the sake of the scenario, it's unimportant. It does not matter. Now, I just want to get this out of the way that I don't believe that an EMP strike is imminent. I don't believe that it's the first thing on the list. I don't believe that it's still a threat for sure, but I don't believe that it's as likely. I don't believe an EMP is as likely as this other form of attack that I'm going to mention here, and that is the cyber attack. We're all going to jump in and we're going to attack the water supply. We're going to attack the electrical grid. We're going to attack refineries, pick a thing, right? Or even electronics that control the flow of petroleum products or natural gas within a country. Because it's like dropping an EMP, only it's more focused, it's more precise. It's not a sledgehammer, it's a scalpel. Because these guys are attacking specific threads that hold this together. And if you take out a nation's power grid and they're scrambling to get that, then you take out their water supply. Then you start working on other infrastructure such as communications, their towers. Now they can't talk to each other. You are incrementally crippling this nation and these people. That will do way more damage. Even though you will physically have that equipment, it's still going to take a large amount of time for the software side of that to be fixed, right? It doesn't always have to be a hardware attack. Now, granted, a hardware attack would be just as crippling because there have been roaming groups of people. That they may be individuals, they may be part of a bigger group, they may be part of a nation state, contractors, mercenaries, right? Being paid out to attack substations and attack our power grid physically to kind of see what buttons they can push and what they can get away with. That may be the case. I don't know. So maybe a physical attack after a cyber one is likely. Who knows? There are only a handful of substations that need to be attacked simultaneously to turn off the entire grid, or we'll have to do a hard reset. Based on what I've read, based on the information that I've dug through, the likelihood of it happening, just because people tend to confuse possibility with probability. So just because something is possible doesn't mean it's probable without firing a single round. And a group of wild hackers did it, even though technically the state paid them to do it. There's no direct link there because the guys are anonymous. That stuff will come out in the wash. All right, make no mistake about it. Eventually, everything has a signature, and eventually it will be backtracked to particular people, which will then be backtracked to who paid them. Then just some group of people that float a shipping container, and I've heard this scenario so many times, that's why I bring it up. Floating a shipping container just off the coast, and then out of nowhere, this ICBM stands up and it launches up and directly into the atmosphere, goes off and nukes or EMPs half of the country with one strike. And then, because it's in a container ship that's international, on international waters, we don't know who it belongs to. There are ways to figure this stuff out. People way smarter than me that do this for a living. They get paid for it. We'll figure it out. I won't, because I'll be busy trying to process what's going on and come up with systems to protect my family and my community and my friends and everyone else, and try to find a way to build society again and keep it running so that way people don't start fucking eating each other. So if you plan for the EMP thing and the EMP thing never happens, did you waste your time, and were you exercising and doing all this stuff? Were you packing your gear and running mock or dry drills? No, you weren't wasting your time. No, you're not wasting effort. What you're doing is preparing for the absolute worst case scenario that may not happen in your lifetime, right? But you're prepared for it. And because that is the most difficult thing, everything else will be less difficult. One of the simple solutions to this is pretty much in your face, but not really thought much or talked much about that I've seen online. So I'm just gonna throw this out there. You guys have the ability right now to jump on your laptop and surf the webs. And you're on the interwebs looking at, we all know what you're looking at. But instead of wasting your time and your wrist strength on this stuff, go ahead and jump in to Wikipedia, jump into other online sites that are free to where you can download information. Connect a slave, I can't say slave drive, sorry, back to the 90s. Connect an external hard drive. Buy a 1 terabyte, 2 terabyte hard drive from Walmart for like less than $100. Slap it on the side of your connect it to the side of your laptop or your home computer. Download all of this information. It'll take several hours, granted, but it's literally a wealth of knowledge. You've got tons of farming books, the Farmer's Almanac. You got whatever you want. Okay, the list is not endless, but there's a huge amount of things on this list that can be practical and relevant to you. Not only that, but you can also download books such as like how to work on a 1990 Toyota Camry, right? Hey, when you need to pull rack and pinion, this is how you do it, and we have grids that are laid out right here. Here's the workflow, and guess what? Here's schematics, and you can do all of that, and it's free. It costs nothing. And if anything happens, you make sure that hard drive, once it's full of what you need, you take it out, wrap it in some real thick cardboard, put it in a Mylar bag, seal that bitch, put it up in the closet. As long as your laptop isn't destroyed by the cyber attack or the EMP, you have all of that knowledge right there. If the EMP does happen, your computer's fucked, and so's your hard drive, right? Possibly. So, granted, we don't know what's going to happen during an EMP. Most of us, right? It's a good idea to have lots and lots of cards stacked in your deck to help you, instead of just standing there with your dick in the wind. Okay, I shouldn't say that. Being left hung out to dry, right? That's one simple solution there. The other is way more difficult, and by more difficult I mean it costs more money, and that is to find pertinent information like books and order them off of Amazon or wherever. Give Bezos more money so he can fly to another planet. Buy these books, or if you're one of those do-it-yourself guys, plug in your printer and then print tons of pages that are relevant to your vehicle, the year, make, and model, your vehicle, what maintenance it needs, parts, part numbers, diagrams on how to replace your alternators and tires is basic stuff. You know how to do that. But if you have to replace a head gasket, you have to replace this or that, it'd be a good idea to know how to do these things, even if you're not the one physically doing it, right? Because you can't find a mechanic. You have pages and pages of things that you can store up. And as long as they're watertight containers that you put this stuff in, I don't see them going bad, because paper lasts a pretty good amount of time, right? So you can pull out your master copy, write it down, put it back so that it stays safe, and then you can have your paper to go do whatever the fuck you gotta do with it. Unless you physically have been doing it, you're not gonna know what's going on, right? Which boils back down to the first thing that I said, to get skills.